two of arguably the best wrestlers in this world today, and this crowd doesn't know who to root for. It is one of the most personal grudges in years, and it's all for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Styles hits the Styles Clash from the top rope, and he is still Mr. Money in the Bank. An intense contest between two of the greatest of all time. Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, looks to take out the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Is Shawn Michaels going to be the first man to defeat Kurt Angle here in NLW? He's dragged away from the ropes, and Michaels has no choice but to tap out. The most brutal matchup in NLW history. It is barbed wire massacre. It's raking their skin. It is destroying their bodies, and this barbed wire is everywhere. A pile driver on the barbed wire, for God's sake. And this one is taking a turn for the worse. The fire brought into play. Cena has lost to Raven. This crowd solidly behind Sting. Is he going to be successful in his first World Championship defense, or will Triple H reclaim the World Heavyweight title that he lost? It is so close. Both men hitting their finishers. But it is Sting with a Scorpion Death Drop, and the sharpshooter applied. Triple H has no choice but to tap out here. Sting is still our world champion, but Triple H is crushed. How is he going to bounce back from this? Sting is still on top of the world. We are only one night removed from the grand spectacle that was Sacrifice. Sting is still our World Heavyweight Champion, but for how much longer will that last? Plus, AJ Styles is here tonight, Shawn Michaels is here tonight, Kurt Angle's here tonight. In fact, the majority of the roster is here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. It's been rumoured for months that a huge battle royal was coming, and tonight our main event is an 18-man over the top rope #1 contenders battle royal. The winner is going to get a shot at Sting's World Heavyweight Championship at NLW Heatwave. Who is going to walk out of here as the #1 contender? We are going to find out tonight, and it's truly going to be one of the most unpredictable matches probably in NLW history. Who the hell's going to win? I have no idea. What do you think? Who is going to win the Battle Royal tonight? Could it be this man? He's already had one chance to win the World Heavyweight Championship back, and last night at Sacrifice, he did fail. He didn't fail spectacularly, however, he did tap out in the Scorpion Sharpshooter to Sting's finisher, and thus could not regain the World Heavyweight Championship that he lost in the Triple Cage. And last night in the main event of Sacrifice, he was crushed. In fact, as soon as we went off the air, Triple H did not leave the ring for another 20 minutes. He was circling the ringside area last night off the air, and it wasn't the same Triple H we used to. But how the hell is he going to respond to his loss?
For 20 years, I eat, sleep, and breathe. While others have come and gone, I have stayed here. My blood, sweat, tears, passion, all to make this a better place. And all of that, all of it, life's work, almost all taken away because of one man. Sting. Sting, the face of WCW. WCW, the company I helped destroy. And now 14 years later, Sting finally gathers up the guts to do something about it. Because for 14 years, he stayed away. Because for 14 years, he knew that if he came here, I would personally expose him. And now, for whatever reason, Sting finally decides to take his shot. And when he takes his shot, does he do it like a man? Well, Sting, I am a man. To stand in this ring face to face with me. And I will look you dead in your eye and I will explain to you why you were right. And if you agree, I'm a patient man. I never wanted to be the guy that was just hanging out. Never wanted to be the guy that hung on too long, the guy that was just waiting for the nostalgia pop. I never wanted to be the guy that was, quite frankly, just getting in the ring because someone was willing to write him a check. I never wanted to hang on too long. I didn't want to be the guy that was just too beat up and too crippled inside to be able to hold his own kids. I never wanted to be the punch-drunk fighter that couldn't have a life when this was over. That being said, for the first time in my career, I find myself at that crossroad. It has made me ask the question, am I done?
Never seen this side of Triple H before. Much more modest and almost admitting that Sting's the better man. He doesn't know what to think. Is the cerebral assassin gone? He's certainly pondering over his loss last night. And Triple H, he's not even finishing what he started. He's actually leaving the ring. Folks, this isn't the man that beat up Sting a few weeks ago. This is a changed man, and maybe not even for the better. I mean, look at him. Since losing his world title, he's been crushed, and now he's leaving the arena.
As the heat is on, the temperature rises. Under the sweltering summer sun comes an event so intense you may be burned. There are no restrictions. It's all about the fight. You guys might want to get an ice pack, 'cause there's gonna be a heat wave.
And you are looking back live now, and it appears we're in the parking lot here, and there's Triple H. I mean, earlier you saw he was walking out of the arena, and now he's getting in his car and he's leaving the arena. He's gone now, and will we ever see him again? I don't think he's going to be competing in that Battle Royal later, judging by the way he unceremoniously left earlier. And well, maybe we'll get an update from Triple H later, who knows, but for the meantime, he's walked out. He has walked out of NLW for the moment, but who is in NLW? That is the question. This is the man right now making his way to the ring, who the fans voted in this year at the Slammies. And he is here to make an impact. He's already had matches against the likes of Triple H, as just mentioned, and also John Cena. And live here tonight, Jeff Hardy hopes to continue his momentum with another victory. Live here tonight on this landmark edition, the 30th episode of NLW. We're going to see a match between the charismatic Enigma and the greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries. Last night at Sacrifice, Austin Aries successfully retained the X Division Championship in a match that featured 5 other X Division wrestlers. It was inside the Steel Asylum, and it was one of the most risky situations that any champion has ever been put in NLW, but he came out at least a little bit unscathed. I'm sure he's still feeling some effects from the matchup last night at Sacrifice in that Steel Asylum, but he did climb out of the domed roof and was victorious. But can Magic strike twice, and can he defeat Jeff Hardy here tonight? He is of course the X Division champion, and he's never been pinned, I don't believe, yet in NLW. So this is obviously going to be a tough task for Jeff Hardy, but if anybody can do it, it is Jeff Hardy, as he tries to catch out Austin Aries early on. But Aries kicks out, and again clobbering him in the back. Hardy sent off the ropes, but a head scissors now dropped on the apron and a headbutt by Jeff Hardy. Hardy using the high-flying advantage to his advantage, in fact, but he is drop kicked in the face right there by Austin Aries. Aries, the first ever NLW X Division champion. He is certainly a trailblazer in the division, and he was signed to make an impact, and he has done that by being the X Division champion. Of course, a few months ago this matchup in NLW was almost unfathomable, but how times have changed. This huge matchup taking place here tonight, Jeff Hardy and Austin Aries, as Hardy sends Aries face first into the steel steps. And now Hardy looks at the prone body of Aries and sees an opportunity to strike, and oh my goodness. Do you see the way that the steps combusted right there as soon as Aries flipped into them? That is not going to be good for the back. In fact, it may have caused a lot of strain, but he's just about on his feet. And now Hardy has those steel steps, and oh my god, dropping the legs right into the head of Aries, and a spinning roundhouse heel kick on the outside there to Aries, and Aries back in the ring, but Hardy goes straight for the cover, and Jeff Hardy just gets the 2 right there. Austin Aries just about manages to kick out of that one, but we'll take a look back at this again. This is the high risk that Jeff Hardy is all about, colliding into the barricade and colliding straight into the face of Aries, and again working on him here with the suplex. Austin Aries now, he's up on his feet, or at least he's trying to get to his feet. Jeff Hardy in control, punches him in the face, and now Hardy going for the whisper in the wind, but Aries moves out of the way. A schoolboy error right there by Jeff Hardy. Didn't check to see if Austin Aries had moved, but went for the whisper in the wind, and the high risk did not pay off that time. Aries on the second rope and drops the elbow onto the chest. And Austin Aries, it is well known, he is a champion around the world, and he is also a champion here in NLW right now as the X Division champion. He successfully defended his title, but he couldn't successfully defend that boot by Jeff Hardy right there. Hardy on the second rope again, tries to go for the splash, but Aries had the knees up, but regardless does kick out, and another kick to the back by Austin Aries. Aries retaining that title inside the Steel Asylum. It was a match to behold. Last night, those 6 X Division wrestlers put on one hell of a performance, and it just added to the atmosphere and the amazing sights we saw at Sacrifice. And now Aries trying for the brainbuster, but a front suplex, gutbuster by Jeff Hardy. Aries is still trying to find his feet, and again there you see, my god, another huge shot to the chest, a massive chop. It's going to send his chest beetroot red if it carries on like this. And now on the apron, the springboard corkscrew over the ropes, and now Hardy is in trouble, and the last chancery locked in by Austin Aries. This has made many tap in the past, and it may very well make Hardy tap out here. He's in the middle of the ring and he has nowhere to go, but trying to arch his body to try and relieve some of that pressure, and now has him bridged, but now picks him up, going for a powerbomb, but a reverse powerbomb sends him stomach first into the canvas. A reverse powerbomb, and that is a unique maneuver. I don't think we've ever seen that utilised by anybody in NLW before. And the Night of First here has him held and now dropped again, and the leg drop into the stomach and abdomen, and another drop kick by Jeff Hardy. Hardy using the momentum to his advantage, and now he's on the top, and this time the Whisper in the Wind connects with full effectiveness. Hardy telling Aries to get over here so he can inflict more damage. He's going for the Twist of Fate, trying to put it away and defeat the X Division champion, but instead he's held on to, and again hold on to, a head scissors and takeover over the top rope with that Hurricane Rana. And another kick to Aries. Aries is on the outside, Hardy's in the ring, but not for long, but he crashes and burns. Story of Jeff Hardy's career, crashed and burned that time. Aries moved out of the way, and now Aries moving off and running up against the ropes, and the suicide dive through the second rope. Aries comes colliding with Hardy at such force, such high velocity and speed, that Hardy just literally caved in his body there, and now that apron net breaker. Flipping did suffer a little bit of whiplash, maybe. Certainly snapping back that neck. And now from the top rope, the missile drop kick by Austin Aries, and another kick out by Jeff Hardy. Hardy has kicked out of a lot of offense, but will this continue? Well, I'm sure Hardy wishes this wouldn't continue. That suicide dive through the first and second ropes with such high force and speed. And now Hardy is literally propping himself up against the turnbuckles, runs off the ropes in a spinning punch combo by Aries, and now he's going for the brainbuster, but reversed by Hardy in the Twist of Fate. And now Hardy can capitalise on this, hopefully for him, if he can get to the top rope and hit the swanton. Aries is stirring. Hardy wants to hit that swanton, but he's crotched. One leg went one way, one leg went the other, and he is sitting perched on that top rope. And Aries, what does he want to do? Go for the Hurricane Rana from the top rope, but Hardy just about manages to hold on. Jeff holding on to that top rope for dear life, and now he's on the top, and a swanton by Jeff Hardy, and he's won this. Jeff Hardy has just beaten the X Division champion, and also aside from that, he is the first man in NLW to pin Austin Aries. This is Austin Aries' first one-on-one defeat, I do believe, and it has just been suffered at the hands of the charismatic Enigma. Well, I'm sure that Aries, after such successful victory inside the Steel Asylum, didn't expect to lose here tonight, but he did take a risk one too many, and with that Hurricane Rana, Hardy managed to hold on to the top rope and deliver that swanton, crashing all of his body weight onto the abdomen of Aries. And Aries, you gotta say, it was an incredible matchup and an incredible performance by both of these guys. And of course, Hardy extends his hand in gratitude. Well, it's not met with the same respect, but he does slap the hand to suggest that, yeah, you may have beaten me tonight, but I'm not happy about it. That's what Austin Aries' attitude seems to suggest. He did shake the hand of Hardy, albeit very briefly, but Austin Aries is not happy after losing his first matchup. Well, Hardy has beaten the X Division champion to everyone's surprise, but will he win the Battle Royal later tonight? Will Aries win the Battle Royal later tonight? They're both entered into it, and it is an 18-man #1 contenders Battle Royal for a shot at the World title at Heatwave. Who is going on to face Sting? Find out later.